Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to All-Star 15 TV. On the broadcast tonight, we start the round of 8 for the ACAR Frey Truckin series. 8 drivers coming down to 4 spots. Let's see how we're going to get there, and it all starts here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Rocky Faith 150. Loving memory of our good buddy Robert Hartso here on the channel. But joining me up in the broadcast booth as qualifying has just started, you're going to hear it behind us going on, is my good buddy, Joe Hutchings.
Good buddy.
Good buddy.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to be back after the Christmas break, and we got New Year's tomorrow?
Well, New Year's
go.
Eve tomorrow, Joe.
It's a 2-day celebration.
Well, you say it's a 2-day celebration. Unfortunately, some people like me, I have to work.
The busiest person you know actually gets a vacation this time.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know how you did it. I don't know whose butt you but enjoy it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their holiday vacation last week. XMS is still off tomorrow and Wednesday for the new year, but ACAR, the Frey Truckin series, is back to start the round of 8. And let's bring up those points for you on the right side of your screen. A very tight battle going into this round. You have Adam Capps and Paul Irvin with 3003. Then Derek Stanley and Joe Darnell with 3002. Then you have the cutoff. And it's only by a point. And right now, I think we are still waiting on Brett Murphy and Derek Stanley to jump. Nope, I lied. They're the last 2 in the server. So they are here. We have all playoff drivers in the field this evening as qualifying is currently going on, as Shane Wolf just put the fastest lap time on the board so far. Joe, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 1.5 miles, very much a multi-grooved racetrack. We're going to be running under the lights here tonight. What are you expecting?
Let's see. Loose trucks. Lots of patience, I would say.
You would
tonight.
hope. You would hope.
Yeah, let's hope so, right? I didn't get to catch stage.
There is none.
But there is none. See, look, I'm slacking because there's so many different series we follow. Anyways, they're probably not going to be trying to worry about fuel mileage too much. I think they're just going to go all out, and we should have an action-packed race.
Yeah, we very much should have an action-packed race. Before we went live here on the channel this evening, right here on All-Star 15 TV, we were watching practice, and a lot of groups were getting together and using some drafting practice. With those drafting groups, they stayed up towards the higher portion of the racetrack where they were able to stay in the gas and stay on each other more often. Look for that during the race tonight. It looked like it worked really well in practice. Lucas Strayer goes top of the board with a 30.16, 0.06 faster than James Shane Wolf. We're staying with the driver of the number 2 Elite Entertainment Toyota Tundra of Adam Capps, just putting his first lap on the board. That is good for P6. You'll see Elite Entertainment on that truck this evening. They're also the caution sponsor for all cautions here on the All-Star 15 TV channel, page, TikTok channel, whatever you want to call it. But we're looking for a really fun night. We're only doing 100 laps, so it's relatively a short race, Joe. We're looking at anywhere from 25 to 30 laps on fuel with these trucks. So possibly a 3-stop and then a splash. Or if we get some cautions, throwing some strategy in there as Adam Capps goes to P number 2. Let's jump on with teammate Joe Darnell on his second lap now, Joe.
I'm looking at the board here, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys aren't really worried about qualifying at this point. They're just making sure that they're, either at the front or, kind of up close to the front. I I really think, with the past races that we've seen, that they're gonna exercise some patience.
I think so too. Not to jinx anybody, but if anybody wants to go back and watch the last 3 to 4 ACAR races, you're in for an absolute treat. They've been bangers. They've been relatively caution free, and they've just had very good battles throughout the whole race. As it looks like Paul Irvin is hitting the racetrack right now to put his first qualifying attempt on the board, getting to speed. But qualifying we're looking at just about 20 drivers in the field this evening. It's gonna play a very much a huge impact. With only 8 drivers going for 4 spots, those other 12 or so drivers are gonna play a very huge role on what's gonna happen going into next week's race.
Well, it's kind of funny. You got some of your perennial, consistent front runners here, and then slot in the wild Dalton Fredericks, and he could be a wild card in this playoff race, stealing some points from these guys and really shaking up the order.
You say that. I don't know if Dalton did this on purpose, but he did not have the best qualifying run that I know he can put out there at his P6 starting spot. As Irvin on the backstretch on lap number 2. You have Nate Orlowski, fan favorite Nate Orlowski, right behind him in 7th for the time being. But look for that 20 to cut through the field. And let's see what this 48 has us out of 4 to the line. Paul Irvin up to that 4th position. Drop to Matt Cochran now as he finishes his first lap, which is good for P9. Next week, January 6th, we do go to Richmond, 130 laps. That's going to be a fun one. That's going to be a very interesting race. That's going to be our first short track race since Iowa at the end of September. I lied. Since October 28th, IRP.
Do these guys still remember how to run on short tracks?
Matt Cochran goes to P2. Holy shnikes. Great lap from the number 4 Cheat Cheese Toyota Tundra, and he's just going to celebratory rip the e-brake coming out of 2. About 2 minutes left in qualifying. Nobody has left pit road, and we still have Sean Patrick, Logan Tackett, Brett Murphy, Michael Steele, Alan Michael Bennett, Daniel Park, and Derek Stanley still have yet to make a time. But with everything going on, Joe, with how close the field is lap time wise and also points wise, these drivers, I feel like, are really hoping that for the most part it's an uneventful race and people don't get taken out, because if certain drivers get taken out, you lose positions to pass.
You want as many trucks in the field when you have these smaller, or you want. Let me rephrase this. You want trucks surviving these smaller fields, all right? Which will, in my eyes, you probably stretch out the field, so your more consistent drivers are gonna be brought to the forefront at this point. So it's gonna be interesting to see who plays what strategy with the points. This is race 1 of the cutoff, correct?
Yeah, this is race 1 of the round of 8. We go to Las Vegas next week and then Rockingham on the 13th.
Well, we're at Vegas right now.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's race number 1 of the round of 8. As Derek Stanley on the racetrack. Crosses the line, first lap, good for P10.
That's one of those qualifying efforts that you're standing in the stands, sitting there waving them. trying to get him to go faster.
Yeah. And it looks like these guys are kind of running it like they're plate tracks. For the most part, full throttle all the way around. As he didn't make it.
Ooh.
Derek Stanley does not get to complete his second lap. Left a little too late coming off pit road. But as these trucks are starting to grid, let's talk about the starting lineup. For the Rocky Faith 150 here on All-Star 15 TV, you're watching the ACAR Frey Truckin series. Your front row, Lucas Strayer and Matt Cochran. Row number 2, Adam Capps and James Shainwolf. Row 3, Paul Irvin and Chris Sawyer. Joe Darnell and Dalton Fredericks in row number 4. Rounding out the top 10 in row number 5, it's Nate Arlowski and Derek Stanley. In row 6, you have Brett Murphy, Michael Steele. Row 7, Daniel Park and Sean Patrick. And then in row 16, rounding out the field, Logan Tackett and Alan Michael Bennett. Joe, you got to pick a driver without being biased. Who are you picking?
I'm being biased. I want Nate Arlowski to win this race.
You know, I'd be very, very happy for the kid. Oh, I don't know why I call him kid. I'm pretty sure he's older than I am.
I can call him a kid because he's younger than me, and he's got a better mustache.
Dude, he's got a stash and a half. I'd be proud of that.
Who's your pick here, AJ?
You know, since I'm not going to pick the same guy you just did, because I was leaning towards Nate, even though he's starting back in that 9th position in a 69 Ford F-150 Surge truck.
You just wanted to say 69. About to go wow.
Oh, stop it. Bad. Bad.
No. No.
You got Derek Stanley, who's usually pretty good. But he's got Tampa Bay Lightning on his truck.
What's wrong with that?
I'm a Rangers fan, and they're not doing too well in Florida right now. I'll jump on board with Chi-Chi's. Starting outside pole, Toyota Tundra number 4 of Matt Cochran.
I'm kind of disappointed it doesn't say the celebration of food on the side of that truck.
Food. But everybody in the chat, who are you picking? Glad to have you all here. No matter where you're watching, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, follow, so you don't miss any races here on the channel. We are off the rest of the week after tonight. Next week, we go back to full racing here on the channel. You heard us talk about Richmond next week for the ACAR Frey Truckin series. But we go to the Charlotte Roval January 7th and 8th for the XMS Rick Motec Truck and Xfinity series. But here we go, everybody. It looks like everybody has made the field in the start. 16 trucks on the racetrack. Number 41, a Lucas Strayer. Matt Cochran outside pole. Adam Capps and James Shainwolf in that second row. That pace car is about to take that left-handed turn down towards pit road, ducking for cover. And here we go.
Pace car.
Round of 8 starts right now. Already movement early on. Adam Capps goes to the outside to make the pass. On the... Uh-oh. Ford is losing it.
Hang on. Oh, no. Not Chi-Chi's. No.
Looks like Logan Tackett has an issue. Alan Michael Bennett also has an issue, but we're going to have to back that up because I'm pretty sure we stay green.
Yeah, we're still green.
Watch this, because this starts with that number 4 getting loose into turn 3 for the first time. Oh, pancakes the wall. And then the 88 just plows into the back of the 3. Big damage on the 4, the 3, the 88, all with damage. But up front, it is the number 2 of Adam Caps with teammate Paul Irvin in the 48 right behind him. As it looks like our pole sitter has fallen back to 5th place, Joe.
I think it's pure strategy move. He's sitting there seeing how crazy it is going to be up front right now, and he just wants to survive at this point. I mean, they're going too wide, racing hard. They're making me look stupid at this point. But they did get the field spread out, so
Very
we'll
much
see.
so.
They'll settle in.
You have our first group right here, and then you have to go back quite a bit to where Dalton Fredericks is. He's about 5 seconds back from the leader. You got Derek Stanley right behind him, then Sean Patrick even further back. And then Logan Tackett almost 22, 23 seconds back. I think he's coming to pit road with a lot of damage on the back end of that number 3 Toyota Tundra.
You know, with all that chaos back there, I'm surprised that the admins didn't throw a caution.
Now, they have been instructed to be hands-off unless the track is completely blocked in it. For the most part, the 4 kept going, and everybody else went down into the grass. As we have a new leader, not official yet, has to get back to that line. But that 69 Serge Nate Orlowski is strong early in tonight's race. And Nate will win. Not win, but will get that lap. Will beat the one back to the line.
I love that truck. Serge is awesome.
I've never had it.
Crim in chat. Cold tires, drivers.
Which I'm really amazed by, because it's cold tires. Maybe the truck behind him got a little too close, but Matt Cochran, a veteran driver in this league, makes a error that you normally don't see him make. And he is still on pit road. As we're putting lap 9 on the board here, James Shane Wolf leading the field. Joe, that number 1's able to keep everybody in line. No problem, it looks like.
Well, running that low line, he's going to end up burning up his tires, so...
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he knows that, but early off, with the way these guys are running, maybe that's a strategy today.
Yeah, it very much could be. Maybe you'll burn off fuel enough to where you're going to have to pit for that fuel before you're going to need tires, so you're going to use the fastest line for longer. As our pole sitter is now dropped back to that 7th position, as he's got the 64 Brett Murphy breathing down the back of his neck.
So we pretty much have
that 41
in the lead back.
What was that, Joe?
I said we pretty much got top 10 in that lead pack right now.
For the most part, you have it from 10th to 1st, about a second and a half. So yeah, I would say so. But something's up with that 41. After putting a blistering lap down in qualifying, he has fallen all the way back to that 10th position, and I don't know if it looks like he's down a cylinder or something. But something's not right with that 41.
Well, it doesn't look like there's any damage on the truck. I'm looking at it right now, so... Who knows?
But up front,
Awfully odd.
We might have another battle for the lead. Orlowski looking for the point again.
Nate is going to be a thorn in Shane Wolf's side for a while. This is great to watch.
Especially for the 69 of Orlowski, the confidence booster that he's getting from being up front like this has to be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, the number 1 has the 48 teammate Paul Irvin right behind him. Just little pushes keeping that number 1 ahead. But you can see everybody starting to move up a lane on the racetrack, and it's only 14 laps in. As we're 3 wide into 1 and 2, and the 48 is going to take the lead out of 2. That move was set up coming out of 4.
Yep, he was just biding his time. Oh, looks like Shane Wolf's going to try to get him on a crossover.
I don't think so.
Paul's going to pull ahead. Yeah,
Not even close.
Paul's ahead.
That battle's going to resume for the second spot with the 1 and 69. Just a little reversed here. The 69 on the middle lane. Ooh. I don't know if Nate got a little squirrely or he was trying to block.
I think he was trying to draft off of Paul. I think Paul suckered him into taking that lower line to kind of draw Shane Wolf up behind him.
Yeah, and those 3 drivers are all teammates. The 48, 1, and the 2. As it sounds like Adam Capps just smacked the wall on entry. As he's coming with a full head of steam now. Not Adam Capps, Joe Darnell, sorry. But another driver staying religiously to the bottom is that number 5 of Michael Steele. With Steele graphics and designs on the hood. Does have, I think, teammate Daniel Park right behind him.
Behind him on the podium stand, but not following directly behind him. Oh, that just changed.
Because it looks like that 5 is trying to get right by the number 12 out of 4 and just not able to accelerate out of the turn. That's going to open up Brett Murphy and Daniel Park, putting the 5 3 wide into 1. Here comes the 41 again. Oh, a little contact.
Slight contact. It looked like the 7 did scrape the wall.
Now, Joe, we do have a new debris model on the sim since the last time we raced. You know anything about that? Want to shed some light into what has changed with some of the new models in the sim?
Well, before this last update, you could go off track and it wouldn't bring any dirt or gravel or debris up onto the racetrack. And nowadays, if you were to sit there and dip a tire off the track, you're pulling up some dirt and some gravel, and it's going to stay on the track until it gets worn off. It's also my understanding, too, that it will stick to your nice hot tires and make it feel like you're driving on ice. It is not fun, especially in sports car racing, as we're currently practicing to find, practicing for the 24 Hours of Daytona. But yeah, they got this new debris model, and it's doing its job.
You could see a lot of it getting kicked up from these drivers, from the tires. If you watch closely, you'll see rubber just go flying in the air as leader Paul Irvin over Adam Capps and Shane Wolf by just about a half a second. And you mentioned the 24 Hours of Daytona. We will be covering about 8 hours or so of the Hutch Sport and Phantom Power Racing 24 Hours of Daytona right here on the channel in a couple weeks.
Yes, Yes.
Very excited
I'm
for
not
that.
staying up for. Yeah, and I'm not staying up for the whole race. I'm
Your biggest mover of the race so far, as we are just past 20 laps in, is the 64 of Brett Murphy. He is +6 positions. Nate Arlowski is +5. So is Daniel Park, +5. So a lot of drivers making moves. But your leader, Paul Irvin, +4. Pulling away from Shane Wolf just about a half a second. Let's see if that closes in a little bit here.
Away. He's
I
not
was gonna
pulling away.
say.
He's gap managing. This is Paul. Come on.
On board with the number 1 of James Shane Wolf. Getting a nice view.
Nice view of Paul's bumper.
Derek Stanley's the first truck to hit pit road. Right around that lap 23 mark. Wonder if that's going to start bringing other drivers in.
Well, I mean, if you split it up into 3 stops, then yeah, you're.
It'd be 4 stops, 25, 25, 25. Well, no, 3 stops, I guess.
No, 3 stops. You can make it a 2-stopper if you're good with your right foot, but that's going to be difficult to do.
It's going to be very difficult to do.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of drivers out there that can do it, and it looks like Paul chose the I'm going to sit out here and run away like a jackrabbit. Gary says that Paul does have a nice bumper.
And here comes Daniel Park and Michael Steele both hitting a pit road for the first time this evening. And we have migrated, for the most part, everybody up to that high line. Nate Orlowski back into that 3rd position, battling for Adam Capps, with Adam Capps for P3. But here's the 64 of Brett Murphy. Starting to see everybody come to that inside lane.
I have yet to see that 69 truck use the high line.
Nope.
He is glued to the bottom. I do not know how he's doing it.
And we have pit stops for multiple drivers. Paul Irvin, Shane Wolf, Darnell, Fredericks, Sawyer, and Patrick all hitting pit road. Nate Orlowski right now, your race leader, most likely coming on and pitting here. He is very slow.
Oh, yeah, he hit the parachute. Oh, getting dicey out of that entrance.
Yeah, very aggressive for the 41. Looks like he got down the pace speed, but passing 3 trucks before making it to pit entry. As you have Shane Wolf, the first truck out of pit road with that group. Pretty good sized gap to Paul Irvin as well. And we are spread apart around the speedway as Derek Stanley, full head of steam, along with Daniel Park, moving their way up just a little bit up the leaderboard by pitting a lap earlier. There's the gap. I think that extra lap is really going to hurt those drivers because Nate Orlowski has dropped back to that 11th position. Now 12th position.
I think Nate screwed himself with that pit road entry. It was not pretty.
It was a little too conservative.
Yes. Very little, or very much conservative. Holy crud. I'm on vacation. Leave me alone.
He gave a lot of time back. But there's the 77 and the 7, the first 2 trucks to pit. Dalton Fredericks in the 20. Doing a pretty good job making his way back up towards the front. Didn't start up here. He's +2 riding in 6th. But then you have James Shane Wolf, almost a second lead over Paul Irvin. You're watching the All-Star 15 TV broadcast of the first race in the round of 8 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the Rocky Faith 150. We will be right back.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Battle for the lead right there. The 1 of Shane Wolf, the 48 of Paul Irvin, but here comes the 7 of Daniel Park. One of the first trucks to hit pit road, and he is capitalizing on that. Doing a really good job staying up with the leaders. The 12 of Joe Darnell sitting in that 4th spot, but somebody who it's really hurt to stay out those extra couple laps, who was up front earlier on, and he's going to hate me for mentioning it. It's that 69 of Orlowski. He's fallen all the way back to that 12th position. Basically nowheresville. Chris Sawyer is 5.5 seconds ahead of him on the back of this front pack, and then Sean Patrick is 6.5 back from behind him.
Yeah, he'll be okay. Nate will be okay. His problem was getting on pit road. He gave up a lot of time trying to get on the pit road.
Well, he's down a lot of time too because everybody else is working with draft, and that he's 3.5 tenths slower a lap.
Well, also take a look who was very aggressive coming on the pit road, and look who. He made up a bunch of spots. Take a look at that 5th place truck.
Dalton Fredericks, yeah, he's sitting in that 5th spot. Somebody we need to look at is that 41, though. He passed 3 drivers on pit entry, and he's put him back, himself back up in the top 6 when he fell all the way back to 11th at the start of this race.
Yeah, Strayer's just kind of been lurking at this point. I think that's going to be his strategy for the day.
Yeah, show up when he needs to.
Pretty much.
Daniel Park and the 12 of Joe Darnell side by side as Fredericks in the wall entering.
It's a love tap. Don't worry about it.
And this is where we see how good the outside is. We're about 13, 14 laps in on this run. Everybody's slowly moving to that high lane, and that's where these runs are coming from. Joe Darnell this time by just about 1.5 tenths slower than our race leaders, but they're cruising up front. It's been all Shane Wolf, Irvin, and early on, you know, we had Orlowski, Strayer, Daniel Park is starting to fall back just a little bit now that Dalton Fredericks is getting by him. Oh, the 20's in the wall again.
Dalton is trying to hang on for dear life at this point.
Almost saw the 7 lose it on the apron. See, a lot of drivers use that apron, but you got to be careful later in the run, Joe. We saw it there. You could just lose it from the transition from the racetrack to that flatter apron crossing the start-finish line.
Something I've always questioned, how come NASCAR allows driving below the white line in some of these mile and a halves? I mean, you have a designated area to race. Stay on it? Question mark?
You know, you're not the only one that's thought that, but if they're not going to black flag you, use whatever racing service will give you an advantage.
Cool, I'm going through the grass at Daytona.
If it's going to give you an advantage and not penalize you, yes. Don't be like Williams in the Daytona 24 from a couple years ago, getting DQ'd.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. I tried it.
Was that a low blow? I feel like that was a low blow.
Hold on, make it a little bit lower. Make it where it really hurts them.
Running the whole race, come to find out to get DQ'd 24 hours later. Ooh. Wasn't it in qualifying they did that? Or was that every lap they did that?
Oh, that was during the race.
Okay. Got a little bit of a group picking up back here. That 3 truck up here, Logan Tackett, he is about 7 laps down riding around, but he is blinking out really bad right now. Alan Michael Bennett running in that 14th position, 6 laps down. A lot of these drivers need a lot of cautions to get back up on the lead lap.
That 3 truck's making me hungry.
Joe, you're always hungry. As we have a battle for the lead, that 48 has caught Shane Wolf.
What you mean 48?
Paul Irvin has caught Shane Wolf. And Fredericks trying to get by Joe Darnell.
Trying. He is trying to get around. Is he doing it? Yes.
Yes, sent it on the inside. And it looked like Joe kind of helped him out there a little bit. Still early on in this race. We're just shy of halfway. We are cruising here tonight, people. Hopefully not for a bruising.
Drew says that Williams did their BS in qualifying, so I eat my words.
Good night, Drew. Ooh. There goes the 64. Look for that 41. Falling all the way back to 11th. Right after the start of the race. After starting P1. Clawing his way back up to 4th right now. As we should be seeing pit stops in just about 4 to 5 laps. And once again, Shane Wolf pulling away from the 48. Matt Cochran back on the racetrack. You see the number 4, Chi Chi's 17 laps down.
That is not a celebration.
New Adam Capp's first truck to hit pit road.
Ooh. You look like he was squirrely.
Halfway.
He looked pretty squirrely getting on pit road there.
He did. I hope he didn't speed, because speeding will, and the way this race will go, it will ruin your day. Brett Murphy, Joe Darnell now battling. As Park, Steele, Stanley, Orlowski, all hitting pit road now.
Oh,
Oh,
careful, Nate.
Nate, just gradually hit the brake pedal. Don't stab it.
For Nate, it's water, not wide open throttle or nothing.
It's like console racing. It's either all throttle or all brake.
There is no in between. I mean, that's how I kind of run on the street car, but you know.
No other takers coming back on the racetrack. The 7, 5, 77, 69, 26. The 2 is passing these trucks. When will we see pit stops? For Shane Wolf and company, I feel like it's I lied. Here comes Paul Irvin now, just past halfway. Joe, I gotta think for these drivers up front, you're wanting to go long here. Just in case we get a green-white checkered at the end of the race, you have something left. As here comes the 1.
And here comes
And the
Dalton
20.
right behind him.
The 41, the 12, Brett Murphy staying out to take the race lead. Not even for a green-white checkered. I feel like you're gonna want the most tire at the end of this race as Paul Irvin has exited pit road. Back to the racetrack he goes.
So you have a little bit of a danger zone when you're either the first or last off of or on the pit road. You got to be real careful. The ideal situation is, let's all be friends and go down pit road together. But yeah, this is racing and we don't do that. You have no friends.
Paul Irvin on the racetrack, full throttle. He might just get to at least Fredericks. I don't think he'll get to Shane Wolf. As I lied, he has got to Shane Wolf. Passes Shane Wolf. Takes P2, which will end up being P1.
He had the bell on as he was going by and hitting that woo-woo.
I thought it was the Talladega Nights. You like it? I got it at Target. But they're teammates. They're teammates. Ryan, that is an understatement. The last couple races have not just been damn good, they've been absolutely fun to watch. What is going on with the 20, the 7, and the 2?
I don't know. It looks a little spicy back here.
It very much does. And Frederick's really putting these drivers and trucks through basically the ringer. You know that 20's going to be fast whenever he shows up, Joe, and he is making people show up and elbows out.
He doesn't have a lot of elbow. Trust me, I've met him in real life. So he uses the truck.
But Irvin over Shane Wolf just about a 10th. And they need to start working together because here comes the 20.
So you got 2 playoff drivers and Dalton lurking. All right, Dalton is not in this fight at all.
Nope.
All right, he's not.
Neither is Daniel Park. Look at our top 10, Joe. You have Fredericks, Park, Strayer, Sawyer, and Orlowski. 5 trucks. Not in the playoffs.
If I were those 2 drivers in the playoff spots and Dalton's piling up behind us, I'd let him go. It's just my way of thinking. I'd rather, you know what? You go risk it. I'm not going to race you. That's what I would do. But,
Yeah, I don't know. I like the non-playoff driver gap because that means you're going to pull away points wise at the end of the race. You know, race winner gets 50 points, second place gets 45, third 44, and so on. So you're going to have a heck of a gap brewing between what now would be Shane Wolf and Adam Capps.
I think this is great that you got 9 playoff drivers running up front right now. This is great. Putting on a good show, boys.
That's a great battle. We have 1, 2 right there, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, all under a blanket. It kind of looks like tandem racing in a little bit. Yeah, that's been a long time since we've seen tandem racing. As we have a
really long time.
Possible pass for P3. Strayer underneath the 20. Can't make it work out of 4. Just a shout out, just in case, we go caution free to the finish. All cautions on the channel are brought to you by Elite Entertainment LLC. Check them out in the link in the description. Just a shout out to Adam Capps and the boys for coming on board and being the caution sponsor on the channel. Your top 4 getting closer and closer together as we just put lap 63 on the board. We are cruising right along. Derek Stanley a little bit further back, and the 5 of Michael Steele. Joe, what have you seen so far on strategy-wise with how they are running?
To me, it looks like they ain't saving nothing. Which, let it go. Run hard, see what happens. At one point, it did look like Paul was sitting there trying to gap manage, but because the way Shane Wolf's been running, I don't think they can. So you got these 4 front runners out here that are gonna try to gap the field a little bit more. And what makes it even more interesting is that 2 of those guys are playoff drivers, and 2 of them are outside the point standing. So I mean,
yeah, it looks
this
like
is gonna be fun.
It kind of looks like the 20 and the 41 are keeping them honest in a way. You know, making sure that they don't let up, and they're still battling, and they're still pulling away from the field. As Fredericks is looking for P2 underneath James Shamwolf into 3. Woo! Slide jump.
Brown pants moment.
As Shane Wolf looks to repay the favor down into turn number 1. I don't think it's going to work out that way. The 20's going to have a nice hole shot out of 2. But look at the teammate of Paul Irvin coming down to give the 1 the draft.
Man, look at Dalton just hanging on out there. No help. That outside line is where it's at right now. You can see it. I'm watching it on screen right now, and he just gets that little edge because of being able to get the foot in it a little bit harder. Look at this. 3 wide.
Thank God this isn't for the finish. As they go 3 wide across the stripe down into turn number 1. Frederick still on the outside, looking for the run that he's probably going to get out of 2 here.
Yeah.
There he goes. Grabs the lead momentarily into turn number 3. Can he hold on to it? Shane Wolf to his inside. Irvin is pushing Shane Wolf. We're about to put lap 70 on the board in just a little bit. That means 30 laps to go. And we've had nothing but bunny hopping up here towards the front. And they are still pulling away from the rest of the field, Joe.
Dalton's not holding back at this point. You just saw a power move there. And you can tell that Shane Wolf and Paul were not holding back.
I don't know if they were expecting it.
No, it really didn't look like it. And now you got two playoff drivers that are bookended by are bookending these. I can't even talk today. Sorry, I'm on vacation, y'all. Alcohol may or may not be involved. Well, they were the non-playoff drivers are bookending these playoff drivers, so it's like a little dicey up front. But if they were to line up just before, if they were to line up before the pit stop and kind of run ahead a little bit more and give them some leeway to be a little bit more cautious coming on a pit road for this last stop.
And that'll be happening within the next 5 or so laps. We should be seeing pit stops. Back here, Derek Stanley, Michael Steele, and Chris Sawyer, all three of them under a blanket as well. Oh, as Michael Steele's in the wall coming out of turn 4.
Nah, Steele's just trying to do his best best impression of the Hail Melon. He wasn't in the wall.
Wrong racetrack.
Nudge, nudge.
Shane Wolf has fallen all the way back to P4. I think trying to hold on to P2 and the lead for that long of a time chewed up those tires to the point where he is battling to stay within this top 3.
I'm just curious if they're burning up the right front or the right rear on this.
Yes,
I'm curious because to me it looks like they're just absolutely obliterating that right front, and that's why that's why they're having to move up on it. I don't know if anybody in our chat land can correct me on this one.
So we're on board.
I'm looking at you, Gary,
with Strayer right now, and he sends it into the turn, and then gets right back in on the gas. This front group's starting to spread out a little bit. They continue to pull away from the rest of the field.
We should have. They should be getting ready for stops here soon.
I think once we hit 76, 77 is when we'll really start to hit drivers onto pit road. Once they've made it clear to the finish. There they go. Daniel Park, Adam Capps. First two to hit pit road. Here comes Michael Steele as well. Who's going to be the first one to blink on the money stop? There's your top 4 right there. Fredericks, Irvin, Shane Wolf, Strayer. Joe, what do you got?
It's gonna be real fun watching these 4 get on the pit road together because you know that they're coming together.
Stanley, Sawyer, Orlowski, the next group hitting pit road.
And it looks like Paul just scraped the wall coming out of 2.
Here comes Strayer.
Yep.
Strayer's going to be the first one to hit pit road.
Oh! Save it! Save it! Good God, Dalton.
Fredericks has gapped Paul Irvin 0.7 of a second.
I swear it's that Iowa corn that he's fueled by.
And here comes the cavalry. As Shane Wolf is going to stay out.
Ooh, Shane Wolf stayed out. And Paul just barely got it shut down before the line.
I don't know. I'd be worried about the 20. The 20 was coming in a little hot, too. Darnell's also hitting pit road. Shane Wolf stays out an extra lap.
Oh, Dalton misses pit box.
Oh, that's not good. You had to back up?
Just a little.
That's no bueno. Shane Wolf!
No! Shane Wolf! No!
You know, smacks the wall. Does still okay. Still okay.
He didn't smack it. He kissed it. Light rub.
You know, even Dalton having to back up into his spot, he's still coming out in front of the 48.
Whew.
And here comes the 41.
Ho ho! Railroad. Woo woo. Goodbye, 41.
Pole sitter Lucas Strayer back up to P3 with a full head of steam. Just over 20 laps to go. Shane Wolf has dropped all the way back to that 6th position. He'll have the freshest tires of the bunch, but very I'd be very nervous if I was a fan of the 1 or even James himself, because he's under the cut line and he's back in that 6th position as Brett Murphy is coming to pit road this time by, as Nate Orlowski with an issue, and he's gonna immediately jump to pit road. Well, this was him coming out of his pit stall.
Brett Murphy's on pit road.
Oh!
Ouch! Nate, no!
I think something died on the 669. And here's Brett Murphy. Lucas Strayer takes P1, and there's Dalton right on his back bumper.
And Paul Irvin lurking.
Fredericks to the inside, takes it in turn 3. Can the 41 stay strong on the outside?
Ford, Toyota, Chevy. Look at that. Look at these little electric cars going around the track. Right? Electric cars with sound, electric sound.
Like the Hellcat that made a couple years ago.
Oh, the one with the speaker for the exhaust? Yeah.
Yeah.
Say no to lithium powered.
As there is the lead right there. Fredericks, Irvin, Strayer. Over 2 seconds to Daniel Park in 4th, and then almost 6 seconds to Shane Wolf in 5th. Your only playoff driver in the top 5 are Irvin and Shane Wolf. Then a whole slew of them with Stanley, Caps, Steele, 6, 7, and 8. Chris Sawyer, not a playoff driver, in 9th. And Joe Darnell in 10th.
This battle up front is incredible.
It's been incredible all night, pal.
Oh, yeah.
Now, don't go anywhere, everybody. We are going to talk to our podium drivers once this race finishes, no matter who they are. But they continue to pull away over 4th place as Irvin has a run out of 2, looks to the inside of Fredericks into 3. Might be his only shot to get by the 20. As they are side by side, they touch a little bit. Irvin's going to have to send it in 1, Joe. He's going to have to send it.
Oh, he's sending it, all right. Dalton's struggling with that outside line right now. And we got lap traffic coming. Oh boy. Time to put on that underwear.
Who's going to be able to use the lap traffic? That's Logan Tackett in the 3 right in front of our drivers.
As Gary would say. Hey, he did say it in the chat. Just gonna send it. Good battle. Good battle.
They still side by side off of turn 4 and across the line. Dalton Fredericks that time by. I think Strayer is probably in the best spot of all of them.
Oh yeah, he is sitting catbird seat right now.
And honestly, I think Dalton's not worrying at all because that 48 continues to go to the inside every single lap. Give it a couple more laps. There are going to be no tires left on that 48.
Yep, just keep it pinched down low. That's what he's going to have to do.
Now, something that can hurt Dalton right now is if the 48 can get it so they get to that 3 right when they come out of the turn, which I think might actually happen here. And that 48's going to use him as a pick. Oh, nope.
Oh, they touched! Holy... You know what?
3 wide. 3's in the wall.
Oh, 3's in the wall.
I can hear Logan now say, I didn't want any of that. Which I don't blame him. A lap down car with the leaders.
Especially with the leaders running side by side like this. Like, nope.
And they still run side by side. This has been absolutely amazing, everybody. The last 3 or 4 races, it's been exactly like this with a full range of drivers every single week. Absolutely insane for the ACAR Frey Truckin series. What is going to happen?
A variety of drivers out front.
Because I have no clue who's going to win this race. I think it's going to be the 20 because of the tire difference here with Dalton making the 48 run the inside the last 7-8 laps. Going to chew up those tires.
That 41 is going to end up eating both these guys in the last 4 laps. Watch. He's just sitting there.
But we are
Gary says, who's going to give? Nobody. You are correct, sir.
I mean, he says nobody, but we've been clean this whole race. There's been a couple bumps here and there. Fredericks up in the wall.
Oh, Irvin just sent Dalton. Holy crud.
Little bit of a door check in the middle of 1 and 2. Gives the 48 the lead for the time being. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Now remember, everybody, these trucks have fenders for a reason. A little bump and run, no harm, no foul, just a little bit of a door check. But just remember, what you give, you're going to have to take, and Dalton is on his way back to that 48. What did it say, Rubbins Racing?
Yeah, but I'm also yelling at Dalton in his ear if I was a Screwtape sitting there saying,
do
not wreck a playoff driver. Do not wreck a playoff driver.
But that's the whole thing, Joe. Rubbins Racing, but you got to understand it from that 48's point of view. To gap another playoff driver by 3 positions. Phew.
It looks like Dalton just scripted the wall coming out of 2.
See, I don't think Dalton will be happy about it either, but I think in a way Dalton will understand on what's on the line for that 48. 5 laps to go, goes to 4 laps to go. Irvin has moved up to that high line, trying to take the 20s line away. And it looks like Dalton's getting tight out of these turns.
Dalton's rolling that brake by his back as far as he can, sitting there hanging on to that thing.
They're side by side now.
Oh, be careful, Dalton. Don't wreck Paul. Please don't. I'll never hear the end of it.
Oh, little contact. Little contact.
They are bumping.
They're still bumping. If I was Logan,
Paul's
I'd be
gonna
backing up just a little bit.
Paul's going to have some orange on that truck here soon.
And vice versa.
Right? I mean, at least the colors match.
Dual popsicle sticks up in the air. I can't tell you what's going to happen. For all I know, neither one of these three are about to win this race. As Irvin's in the wall out of two.
Paul just scraped the wall, and the 41's coming up behind.
Fredericks has cleared the 48. White flag in the air, brought to you by the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. Holy cow. 4 more turns, side by side going into turn number 1. Paul's going to have a really good run down the backstretch if he can keep it off the wall. Paul's got the lead. Oh boy, going into turn 3 for the final time. Fredericks sends it on the inside.
Holy Kyle Busching.
Coming out of turn number 4, they're touching.
Slamming.
And Dalton Fredericks is going to win the Rocky Faith 150.
Oh, wow. Wow. That was exciting.
See if we can get a better view of that. Ooh! See about this battle here, because Shane Wolf and Park, this is for 4th place. Oh, look at that side by side. And Park is going to get Shane Wolf back to the line to take 4th place.
So that's what, 3 positions between the two of them? Between playoff drivers?
2. Just 2.
Exciting race. That was a good one.
Holy cow, you have no idea, Joe. And there it is. There is the difference between all 3 drivers. Dalton Fredericks coming away with the Rocky Faith 150 win. Wow.
These have been some exciting races lately here, AJ. Thank you
Right?
very much, guys, for putting on good races. Making our job fun up here.
Yeah, right? Well, let's talk to our P3 finisher, the driver of the number 41. What's going on, Luke?
Hi.
How you doing, pal? Congratulations on the P3 finish. How does it feel? How was the truck out there? We saw you drop all the way back to that 11th position early on. How was it like fighting back?
Yeah, I got the Ferrari strategy today because I kind of forgot you guys only run on like a 10-gallon fuel tank. So like right at the start, I'm like, I'm just gonna like save my tires, run the back. Like there's a draft, I'll be fine. And then around lap 20, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start working my way up. And then I looked at my fuel thing and it said I only had like 10 laps left on fuel, and I was like, oh. oh no, I've made a mistake. So I tried running as fast as I could to the front, and I got to the front, and mainly because everyone pitted, and I pitted really late. I came out, and I was like 9th, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be rough. So that whole strategy, I killed my tires trying to catch up, got a little closer, and then finally in the last one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump these guys. So I jumped them, and then I thought I could just save my tires the whole race, let these two fight it out. And with like 5 laps to go, I'm like, okay, save tires, it's go time. First corner, I try to full throttle, it feels like a truck. I'm like, oh, I'm finishing 3rd.
Well, dude, we thought you were waiting in the wings. We thought that wreck between the 48 and the 20 was going to happen well before it actually did. But, dude, you come home 3rd. You spoil a bunch of playoff hopes. I think all but one. But are we going to see you again at Richmond next week?
Yeah. I love Richmond. It's definitely I like the short tracks. I really like ever since the trucks have this new update with the arrow, I haven't been the biggest fan because it kind of drives like a next gen, almost like a weak next gen or an old Gen 6. So like when you finally get like to use your brakes, and it's not really an arrow kind of thing, and you can really like how well you fight the car, really enjoy that. So yeah, you'll see me next week, and then hopefully 1st and 2nd wreck that next week, and I can just scoot by and win, and I can be all happy. But I'll take 3rd.
All right, pal. Well, we'll talk to you later. You have a wonderful rest of your night. But before we let you go, do you have any sponsors you want to plug?
Yeah, Grit Marketing. Check them out. They're a great marketing company. And Spoiler Diecast. Everyone knows I am a huge diecast fan. I have way too many to speak of. And if you use code
You can never have too much.
My room is full. I don't have any visible wall space anymore for them.
I know how you feel,
Nice.
but mine are pop figures.
Okay. But yeah, so use code GLSR, you get 5% off your order. So check them out. They are really good company. I love ordering from them, and yeah,
All right,
go
pal.
diecast.
We'll talk to you later, my friend. Maybe next week at Richmond.
Thanks, man.
All right, Joe. It is time for the moment of truth. Here is the driver of the number 20, Dalton Fredericks.
Dalton, you got us?
What up? Yeah.
Hey, you know, I've helped you crew chief to wins. We've raced together. This is the first time I'm interviewing you for a win. How does it feel?
Feels good. That was a ton of fun.
Yeah. What was your strategy? Because I'm sitting here going, what is he doing in my brain, you know? And I can't figure out what kind of strategy you were going with there early in the race. So can you explain what you did?
Yeah, so I kind of got it up the butt at the start of the race. I got turned, had an amazing save. I don't know how I didn't touch the wall, but had to come back. So I decided, well, I know most people don't know how to save tire very well, so I'm gonna try to just save my right front and come back and get this thing. And every run, I'd stay behind people and I'd just save my tires on corner entry. And at the end of the runs, they'd start pushing wide or doing something. I'd still be able to move the car wherever I wanted it to go, and was able to pick through the pack that way, and was able to have a good fight there to get the win. But great race there, Paul Irvin. I hope you're not upset or anything, but that was a lot of fun.
It sure looked like a lot of fun from the booth. Whew, had a lot of brown pants moments there during that race too.
I had a couple of myself.
On that last pit stop coming onto pit road, that looked a little squirrely.
Yeah, it was just a little squirrely, not much. But I blew through my pit stall, which was nice. So I had to back up, and luckily that didn't eat too much time to where Paul could get side by side with me on pit exit. So that whole last stint could have been different for sure. But luckily we were able to stay out and grab that win.
Well, congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to shout you out, Joe, for helping me with everything. Going back through the years, helping me crew chief, learn how to drive. I bet you remember that Charlotte race where I was cussing everything out. That was a fun night. But yeah, I want to thank you for everything you've done for the last 5-7 years, something like that.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Also, I'd like to thank AJ with All-Star 15 TV with streaming these races. It's a lot of fun to go back and watch the end of these things like I'm going to here pretty soon. So thanks for broadcasting these. Also with your Nerds Do Nerd Things, thank you for being on the car. AC Ages, Hard AF Seltzer, JVM Graphics, Jake Zudo over on the roadside. He's a lot of help with practices and whatnot. Frey Truckin, McConey Setups, everyone else at the shop, Scott, for all your help throughout the years with getting on iRacing and whatnot. But yeah, again, thank you guys for broadcasting. I can't wait to watch this.
It's going to be a good one, pal. But thanks, Dalton, for talking with us. Joe, take us home, pal. Overall, what'd you think?
We had talked earlier today, and I said, this is going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to go without a caution, or it was going to go, we're going to be up here a while. And I'm glad to say that despite of the beginning of this race, this league has put on some amazing shows these last few weeks. And I highly appreciate that. Number one, you guys are racing absolutely flawlessly. All right. In my eyes, flawless. All right. And thank you guys very much for letting me be up here in the booth calling these races, these really, really fun races.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for all tuning into tonight's Rocky Faith 150 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Join us next week when we go to Richmond Raceway for race number 2 of the round of 8 right here on the channel. Same bat time, same bat place. Your winner tonight,
Richmond, Florida.
Your winner tonight, Dalton Fredericks, second Paul Irvin, and third Logan or Lucas Strayer. Sorry. Yeah, join us next week and have a nice new year. And as corny as it sounds, we'll see you next year.